Come on in. It's this beautiful Fender Jazz bass again. This Fender bass was having some issues with its preamp, and digging into it I discovered that these preamps are known to fail. So we're sourcing this part, but in the meantime I'm doing a whole bunch of other things, like for example, plugging this hole because it was stripped, so we're plugging that. But what I want to focus on today, on this fresh new YouTube content, I want to focus on cleaning the tuners. Now this is something I've done in the past, a much younger version of Eric Blimke. I talked about this in the past, but let's get into that. Before working with any sort of thing anywhere close to a beautiful bass, I always want to protect that bass from splash or accidentally dropping a tool. And that's where, look at this great protector here. So how do you know when it's time to replace a tuner? Well, there's a couple things that will stand out as a surefire reason that you have to clean a tuner. One, it gets seized. It doesn't turn anymore. Secondly would be that they're getting really hard to turn. And thirdly, parts start breaking. And so you can see here on this there's kind of like a bunch of washers, right? And so what's happening on these old tuners is all these washers are starting to break down. You'll notice that I got all the tuners off. I've taken all these broken parts off. And I'm going to start cleaning them. Cleaning them with a bit of naphtha, letting the naphtha dry, and then lubricating them. So let's pretend for a moment that the tuners were actually in good shape. One thing I could do if I just needed to lubricate them, let's say they were just seemed a bit dry. I didn't necessarily need to clean them with naphtha. Take it off the instrument. Then I want to get access to the sealed tuner. And you can see right around that column there's a nice slot down into where the gears are. So if this tuner was in good shape but just needed a little bit of lubricant, I would put a couple drops in there. And I could even use my drill to spin that. Really low setting. I'll turn the clutch way down to 1, so there's no chance of me breaking anything with my drill. I'll spin that around a little bit, maybe add an extra drop of oil. Or 2, not much, just enough to get the threads moving easy. Kind of support the tuner. Spin that oil around in there. Now, these are in such bad shape that I'm actually going to remove, as I've already done, I'm going to remove all those tuning keys. So I've got all these parts off, and what I was able to do with a lot of these, to clean them out, you can see, here's the rag that I used to clean them out. It's just full of all this black gross stuff, metal filings. I might take a little bit of naphtha. I just use the naphtha that I use, same naphtha I use on my camping stove. It's the naphtha I use here. I'm going to take a little bit of this, and into that same spot, just put a couple drops, and now I'm just using my, using my fingers. I'm holding a rag there. It's good to see this from this side. With those tuning keys off, see how I can open that up a little bit? So I could put a little naphtha in there, which is also another way to get into a sealed tuner. Take that tuning key off, spin it around, and the motion of you spinning it around will help you get the naphtha in there to clean it out. And then on that same spot, what I'm doing underneath, I'm just holding the rag there. And just kind of as it spins, it comes off onto the rag. If a tuner's really, really stuck, I've got a solution here of naphtha with a little bit of 3-in-1 oil. 3 parts naphtha, 1 part oil. And I might soak it in there for maybe half an hour and see if it'll move. If it's still really seized, I might leave it overnight or something. And again, I would do that with it all stripped off. Just like this, with no tuning key on it. This is a great way to keep all of that stuff, the lube, the naphtha, to keep it off of the beautiful guitar. You don't want to have all this kind of dirt and filing coming out all over the guitar. You want it to come out onto a scrap piece of wood. Thanks for watching.